Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
It's 9 o'clock and we're going live. This is Live at 9 on WJLX with James Phillips, presented by Young Jewelers in historic downtown Jasper. Real talk, real stories, right now.
And good morning. It's a Wednesday morning here on Live at 9 with James Phillips on WJLX in Jasper, Alabama. Beautiful day outside, and we've got some great guests this morning. Representing HARTT, Tina Aaron is here. And then representing, I guess, kind of HARTT and Jasper City Schools, Misty Whisenhunt is here. And we're going to be talking today. It's our Wellness Wednesday that we do once a month with HARTT. We're going to be talking today about parent engagement and student mental health.
Yes.
Tina, you've prepared your notes as usual. So tell us a little bit about what we're talking about today and why.
Well, what I wanted to talk about today kind of came from Jonah had asked me. Jonah works United Way and works in the school system. And so he had asked me a few weeks ago to come and do a podcast with him at the Jasper High School. So he sent me this list of questions to work with for parents. And so I thought, well, I already had the questions.
Right.
Maybe we could just kind of cover what was on his mind and things like that. So
Sounds good. Well, tell us a little bit about who you brought with you today, though.
Okay, so I brought with me today my old friend. She's not old. It's not as old as me, but she's my old friend. She is a counselor at Jasper High School, and she also is our clinical director for HARTT. So she supervises all of our people and does a great job. And Misty and I go way back to when she was my son's, or my daughter. Which one was it?
Gracie.
Great. My daughter's school counselor at Curry.
Okay, cool.
So that's how far back we go. And she is actually Dr. Misty Whisenhunt. She is super all the things.
So if I pass out or something, you can handle it?
Absolutely not.
Other kind of doctor, but still
Right.
fabulous.
An education.
Right.
Still fabulous.
I knew she didn't have a white coat on, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I found out today that she was also one of my daughter's teachers, was Daisy's teacher in seventh grade,
counselor.
wasn't it? Oh, school counselor.
School counselor.
Was it in
All through high school.
all through high school? Okay. Awesome.
Yep.
Well, Daisy's doing good in Tuscaloosa right now.
Awesome.
so.
Yeah, she's a good kid.
Thanks to all you guys at Jasper High School. Well, talk a little bit about, student mental health is such a huge thing right now. Every child goes through different things. And like, even with my 5 that I've had, everyone has gone through different things, and it's, you never know what could be thrown at you in this day and age with kids, with the technology that we have and just everything. It seems like such a different time than when we were in high school.
Right. It is a different time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it for real is. And I was telling somebody the other day, when I went to Curry back in the 80s, best decade ever, I only knew the people that went to Curry, basically. Or maybe some of the people I met riding around the Big K parking lot, because that's what we
Right,
did,
yeah.
you know, on the weekend.
We did the Food World in,
Okay.
in Dora.
Okay, we did Big K, which is not even Big K anymore, but when my daughter, fast forward, you know, a few years, my daughter was at Curry, she knew everybody in this county
Yeah.
because they're connected through all the social media and all the
media.
things, you know, and so that in itself has exposed kids to different people, and the social media is a whole thing. We can talk about a little bit about that later on this morning too. So yeah, it's different. And we're seeing, just sitting here this morning, I just got a message for more counseling for some teenagers. I think we took 30 referrals last week. That
Wow.
gives you an indication of the need and the increase in parents seeking out help for their kids, little kids and teenagers. So,
Well, then it's definitely a need, and also it's sometimes it can be really difficult to even find a counselor. There's a shortage. It's hard to find people, especially if you don't have insurance or you have Medicaid or something like that. It's even more difficult. And so it's definitely something that's needed in our community and around the country.
yes. And so we go into the schools a lot. Our counselors go in and see the kids at school, as well as kids coming to us. But sometimes parents can't get off work during the day, and so our counselors go in what we do see happen, which I've already been talking to our counselors about this, we do tend to see in the summer, those kids who have been getting consistent counseling in school don't come in the summer because their parents, for whatever reason, can't get them there, and so that's always a concern, is that they've had a steady support system and then suddenly nothing over the summer. So,
Right.
we always encourage, and our counselors are already beginning to talk to the parents, hey, let's keep this going over the summer, at least keep some kind of check-in. A lot of times in the summer, the kids are home alone, and there's a lot of opportunity unsupervised for things to
Right.
things to go wrong, and they're just out of their routine, and they should have a good summer, I mean, those things are important too, but unsupervised is a concern.
And in the summertime, it goes a lot from a lot of structure in school to no structure at all.
Right, yeah.
And that can throw anybody off.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Now, Misty, talk a little bit about the mental health initiatives that you guys are doing in schools.
Yeah, so we do have a mental health coordinator, and she's for all the schools. She works for the system. School counselors, they meet with the students, and then when they see a need arise, or if it's something that's kind of out of the school counselor's role, a little more serious and need more consistency than we can give, then we refer to our mental health coordinator, Stephanie Bales. And then she makes the referral to the outside agencies. And most of our students, we do have the therapists come in to the school, just due to transportation issues and them not consistently getting to the agency. So that kind of helps cut down on that, so that they are being seen weekly.
Yeah.
And that's a great resource for our schools. But like you said, and I think Tina said earlier, that it's hard to find. There's such a need, and just finding a therapist, or making it through the wait list sometimes
And
is
then
hard.
once you do find a therapist, sometimes it's hard to find the right one. You get in with somebody, especially with kids, and from my own experience with my own children, they may go to one person and be like, I don't feel like telling everything that I need to tell, and so it's definitely hard to find that right person when there's already a shortage of people.
Yeah, we also have some Hispanic students that just speak Spanish, and so that's another area, trying to find somebody that can speak their language, and that's hard. That's a barrier as well.
Being from Piney Woods, that's probably your second language.
Oh my gosh, listen, we do have one of our therapists that is bilingual, but he normally sees like 15-year-olds and up as kind of his area.
Right.
So we do have that younger population that is, they need served, and
Yeah.
it's a challenge. And but you're right about matching that therapist, because it's about personalities too. So we have some therapists, just kind of like Alexander likes to see older people. Then we have some that younger people is their thing, and that's, they just really can relate, and they just have that connection. And then we do other things. Did you do differently with kids than you do with adults? Adults, you can sit down and have an hour-long conversation. Let's go deep into whatever.
Right.
Kids, we do sand tray. We do art. We do play therapy. We do all different kind of things, because kids talk when they're doing something else usually.
Right.
And they'll open up like that when you're not just, having let's stare at each other and have a conversation. You're not going to get that, and especially at teenagers. Teenagers, oh my gosh, we have some, they're just not going to open up.
They're
at
probably just
all.
looking down the
Oh
entire
my
time.
gosh, this just torture
Wanting to
for
look
them.
at their phone.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are wanting to look at the phone.
Yeah.
And just avoid any
Yes.
sort of emotional connection at all.
Yes, yeah.
But you have your questions ready?
Yes, and one of the things we talked about was why is mental health such an important topic for students right now? And I was looking at some statistics from the American Academy of Pediatrics, and nearly 20% of children 3 to 17 have mental health, emotional behavior disorders. That's a lot, and it's increasing at 6% a year. So that is 1 in 5, and we're seeing a lot too. And the rate of children 10 to 24 that their leading cause of death is suicide. That is alarming.
Yeah.
That is alarming, because while probably all suicides are not 100% preventable, but a lot of them are.
Right.
You know, if we can look at the warning signs and notice to get them help, that can be a preventable death. And that's the leading cause of death among 10 to 24. Could you imagine 10 years old? You
Yeah.
know, what's going on that they can't see past today.
Yeah.
And that's an alarming crisis. So adolescents 12 to 17 report unmet mental health care needs. And again, we got 30 referrals last week just in this small town, you know. And they weren't all teenagers, but a lot of them are. And it's not, I think, a misconception of it's a certain family that you're coming from or whatever. I was walking into work yesterday and someone was walking with me and knew what we did, and they said, hey, my child needs therapy. And she said, now she's got a good home, there's no financial trouble, both mom and dad are there, can't point to any crisis, can't point to grief, but she's having all kinds of anxiety, so it just happens, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So we're looking at all of those things that are increasing, and what we're seeing also, the biggest things are anxiety, depression, stress. A lot of it for kids is related to academics, related to social anxiety with the social media or other things, the expectations, and a lot of related to self-esteem and identity.
Self-esteem,
You know,
yeah.
Yeah.
Self-image.
I would think you out of those three things, that's 99% probably
right,
of what's causing it.
yeah.
Misty, what do you see in the schools as far as kids and their mental health, and are there certain warning signs where you guys see something and you're like, can you go up and talk to a kid and ask them about it, that sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of times in the school, teachers are, you know, they're right there with those students every day. So a lot of times it's going to be the teachers that let us know.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they're probably like the first line of
They
defense,
are,
and they
they
can
are.
tell something's off.
They're on the battlefield every
Yeah.
day. But usually it's them that are recognizing the signs. So like any change that they see in a student, whether it's attendance, they start not coming to class, or if they start laying their head down in class when normally they're alert, any changes, a drop in grades, or maybe they once were quiet and now they're really talkative, or even expressing anger in the classroom, or arguing with other students or with the teacher, whereas they didn't used to do that.
Right.
But just, you know, tired, anger, or even withdrawing. Once they were talking to friends in class, and now you see that they're just really quiet and shut down and maybe put their head down,
Yeah.
are some of the signs. But teachers usually will notice that and then let us know, and we address it. Some teachers will address it on their own, maybe pull the student out in the hall or ask them to stay after class and just kind of ask what's going on
Yeah.
and how they can help.
And sometimes it might just be that they need somebody just to show that they care.
To notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tina, what else you got there?
Well, and I think also in addition to that, there can be physical symptoms, headaches, stomach aches, you know, things like that. And everybody's going to have times where they have some stress. Maybe like right now, this whole month they've been doing ACAP testing, and a lot of kids have ACT testing right now, and they're getting into colleges and applying. So there's moments of stress, but when you can tell the difference when normal stress, that kind of comes and goes. We all have that. But when it's prolonged, you're looking
Right.
at weeks, and they're being withdrawn, you know, or they're not sleeping, or they're oversleeping, or they're eating, or they're not eating, or all these things are in the room or not coming out, or those are things to really start looking at. This is lasting longer than normal, the normal flow of I've had a bad day. You know,
Right.
my little 5-year-old grandson told me Monday, I always ask him how his day was. He's in pre-K. He said, it was horrible. He said, it was horrible. And I said, what happened? He said, I cried at nap. And I said, why'd you cry? He said, I needed to go to the bathroom. They would not let me go. And I cried. And so he had a bad day, you know. Then we played baseball and he was fine. You
Yeah,
know?
he was fine after
But
that.
you know, if that prolonged for weeks and weeks,
Yeah.
you know, you saw a change. So you're going to have those little, I had a bad day, had a bad moment, things like that. So that's how parents can kind of tell the difference between normal things. And especially talking about females, kids have hormones as teenagers, but females have, you know, different hormonal changes once a month. You know, they can be really,
Emotional.
Right.
really different and emotional, you know. So those are normal things. But again, like she talked about, the withdrawal, the sadness, the aggression, looking for those kind of signs, and we have the sign. We have a lot at the office of suicide awareness kind of signs and things to look for, in prevention and things like that.
And we talk about suicide now being the leading cause of death in that age group. I would have never thought that when we were younger. Like,
Yeah.
There were times that we would hear about a suicide, but I guess, with social media, you're going to hear about it everywhere too.
Right.
But it just seems like it's so much more prevalent now,
Yeah.
and kids just somehow end up with no hope.
That's right.
Yeah, and one thing I think is lacking in like the coping skills, and I think a lot of that stems from being in their phone or social media or technology in general,
Right.
and not interacting and asking questions and communicating with their peers or their parents or adults. Just not having those skills
Yeah,
Yeah.
of how to cope.
right.
Yeah. We are the most connected and the least connected we've ever been.
That's true. Yeah, that's definitely true. I think that's a great way to segue into a break, and then we can pick back up when we get back. Today we've got Tina Aaron of HARTT and also Misty Whisenhunt of the Jasper City Schools. We're talking about student mental health, and that's quite the topic these days with everything that's going on in kids' lives. I want to take a break and hear from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back on Live at 9 with James Phillips on WJLX.
Young Jewelers. That name has been a part of Jasper for a long, long time. As a matter of fact, for 3 generations and over 70 years, Young Jewelers has been located in downtown Jasper, striving to earn your loyalty with quality and customer service. Young Jewelers has set the standard in diamonds, jewelry, and gifts. You can afford to have a diamond from Young Jewelers. Our friendly staff can assure you of that, and you're always greeted with a smile and a genuine concern for your needs. Whether it's custom design work or diamonds from one of the name brand vendors, a consultation at Young Jewelers will have you feeling confident you've made the right choice. Young Jewelers, located across from City Hall on 19th Street, and online at youngjewelers.com.
Start your story at Bevel State Community College. Whether you need seamless academic transfer classes, high-wage, high-demand career technical or health science programs, rapid training opportunities that get you into the workforce quickly, dual enrollment or adult education courses, Bevel State is your community college for a quality education. Visit bscc.edu to learn about our convenient and affordable options to make your future visible. Your story starts at Bevel State.
Carl Cannon, Chevy, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Corridor X, and Jasper. We're more than just a new car dealer. We're a certified pre-owned dealer, too. As a used car dealer in Jasper, we have access to a wide variety of used cars from across the area. As a new Buick, Chevy, Cadillac, and GMC dealer, we have the latest models that GM provides from 4 amazing brands. Let us show you around our dealership. With so many options, we're sure you'll find what you're looking for. Browse our inventory online at carlcannon.com. When other dealers can't, Cannon can. Carl Cannon, Corridor X at Industrial Boulevard in Jasper.
Hi guys, I'm Dr. Martin Roberts, owner of Jasper Veterinary Clinic. 3 years ago when I set out to open my own clinic, Pinnacle was my bank of choice to help that dream become a reality. Recently when we needed to expand and had the opportunity to acquire property adjoining to ours, I made one call to Wayne and he set those wheels in motion. If you have banking needs, give Pinnacle a call.
Hello everyone, I'm Drake McKenzie from All South Land and Timber. We have been banking with Pinnacle Bank for over 25 years. The customer service at Pinnacle Bank is first class. We highly recommend banking with Pinnacle Bank for all of your financial needs.
I'm Robin Reed Allen, Chairman of the Board of Pinnacle Bank. Come see our team and make Pinnacle Bank your bank too.
Pinnacle Bank, member FDIC.
If you're craving great food in a place that feels just right, it's time to head to Jake's on 4th in downtown Jasper. From stacked made-to-order burgers to hearty favorites fresh off the grill, every dish at Jake's is cooked with care and full of flavor. It's comfortable, relaxed, and always welcoming. Whether you're meeting friends, enjoying a casual dinner, or just want a laid-back spot with great atmosphere, Jake's on 4th delivers every time. Located at 1810 4th Avenue South of downtown Jasper, Jake's is open Wednesday through Saturday with lunch from 11 to 3:30 and dinner 5 to close. Jake's has great food, an easygoing vibe, and it's a place you'll want to come back to. Jake's on 4th, fine dining done the Walker County way.
Hey, this is Nick Norris from The Game Managers. Every Friday afternoon at 6 on WJLX, Patrick Hanna and I break down the news of the week in sports. From local high school games to the biggest moments in college and the pros. No hot takes for clicks, just sports news, real analysis, and the conversations you actually want to hear. If you like sports as much as us, then make The Game Managers part of your Friday nights. We'll see you there.
The sound of Walker County on 101.5 is WDXB HD3 Pelham, W286BM Jasper, an iHeart radio station. Listen on the free iHeart radio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
You're listening to Live at 9 with James Phillips, presented by Young Jewelers on WJLX.
And we're back here on Live at 9 with James Phillips on WJLX. Want to thank our sponsors. You just heard from all of them. Our title sponsors, Jake's on 4th. They're open today for lunch. Go check them out. We talk about it all the time. Best bologna sandwich I've ever had. Bologna and pimento cheese on a sandwich at lunchtime. You can't beat it. Or their ribeye steak sandwich, also always really good. And they have daily specials. So check out their Facebook page, Jake's on 4th. And then also Young Jewelers, as we've talked about over the last week or so, they are expanding, and they'll be starting soon. You'll see construction starting on a 2-story Young Jewelers in downtown Jasper, and that's going to be a really neat thing just to look and see in downtown Jasper. That was big news that they released.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
So thanks to all of our sponsors. We've got today we've got Tina Aaron of HARTT and Misty Whisenhunt of Jasper City Schools. We're talking about mainly student mental health. We've talked a good bit on warning signs and things you can see with students. And Tina had a questionnaire that she had filled out on a podcast and kind of going over some of those questions of, and it was more directed towards parents, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, try for parents to know what to look for and how to engage with their kids. And in a world where we kind of stopped at the last segment by saying we're the most connected and least connected we've ever been.
Oh, yeah.
And one thing we talked about over the break, I brought this with me and let you look at it. These are, we give these out. They're called ouchies. And it's and they are a little prickly and they do hurt, but they are a great grounding tool and a kind of an alternative for people that cut and do self-harm for different things. And so it's a sensory tool. And it is a little, it's a way to kind of ground them, to kind of bring them back into the moment. And it's not harmful. It's a good alternative. We also do sometimes rubber bands on the wrist. You can pop them instead of, wanting to cut.
Well, and you suggested don't leave that for the toddler to pick up,
No,
right?
my little grandson, I had it sitting out in my living room, and he got a hold of it. He thought it was a good toy, and he started crying pretty quick. But it provides a great, release and gives your brain something else to focus on instead of you right in the moment of whatever that anxious thought is. So I'm giving this to you.
Awesome.
You have that.
I'm going to sit here and use it right now. I'm anxious with you two.
Anxious?
I don't know what y'all are going to say.
We did the life skills for Jasper High School at Bevel 2 weeks ago. And so we gave all the seniors one of those. And we give them out at the office, too. So if anybody needs one, let me know, and we'll get you one.
And they're not very heavy. Misty was worried that kids could be throwing them at each other, but it really wouldn't hurt even if I threw it and hit her in the head right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
maybe a little.
Right.
Yeah. It just helps calm the nervous system, because when we do get anxious, that's what's happening. Our nervous system is getting, overwhelmed, and it's kind of kicking in, and then all the other things happen, and then our brain kind of goes offline, and then we're not focused and all those things. So if kids had those at school, it's not disruptive. It's something they could do to kind of get them back in if they needed to focus
Keep it in
again.
their pocket.
Yeah.
And just
And is it similar to a fidget? Like
It's a
using
fidget,
fidget,
yes,
that kind
absolutely,
of thing?
yeah.
I even have, I know a couple of adult friends of mine who they do fidgets
Yeah.
all the time.
My keychain has a pop it on it, so I can just pop if I need to off my keychain.
Yeah.
So all those kind of things are they're good, and people find benefits in different things. There's those little square kind of plastic balls people use sometimes to squeeze. It's whatever
Yeah.
you need to do. to
Yeah.
kind of stay focused.
I have a variety sitting on my desk, and students and teachers and admin, they'll pick one up and just start playing with it.
Yeah.
But
One of the other questions on this list was, what advice would you give parents about starting conversations with their kids about mental health? And, you've got 5 children, and it is a topic that people talk about, but I think we think, well, that's somebody else's kid going through that, but really to sit down, especially we're going into the summer, to kind of not have a pressuring thing, but approach it very gently and just, are you okay? And let's talk without the pressure, without trying to solve all their problems. And I know as a parent, I've had to learn, and even my children are adults, and I still find myself wanting to solve their problems.
Right.
And let me just fix it, or letting them think, or telling them things like, that's not a big deal. But to them it is a big deal.
Right.
And so we don't want to, we just need to listen.
Listen and validate, and maybe reflect what they're saying, so
Right.
that they know that they're heard.
Yeah, and things like, it's okay for you to feel this way. That's the other thing is
Normalize
we'll
their
tell kids,
feelings.
no, don't feel sad. Don't be mad, Even my little grandson the other day was crying about something else, as they do. And he said, I'm sad. And I said, that's okay.
Yes.
Gigi gets sad.
Right.
It's
yeah.
okay, again. And we have the shirts at HARTT, Feel All the Feels, and it's got all the different faces. And I gave him one for his little size. And the day we were getting out playing baseball, and he said, Gigi, I'm wearing the shirt you gave me, had all his little smiley faces on it. Teach them young.
Yes.
And I think especially little boys, I know you've got girls.
Yeah.
But little boys, we're taught young. We teach them young. Don't
Be
cry.
tough.
Be a
Right,
man.
yeah.
Be tough.
You're not bleeding, get up and walk up.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah.
Don't be a weenie,
Right.
and worse things.
A lot of worse things.
A lot of worse things, but that just says stuff your feelings down,
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
cover them up. And then we get older, and their wives say, "You don't have any feelings."
Right.
You can't, I haven't been allowed to have feelings. So, validate everything. And what else you think, Misty?
I would say you're talking about solving their problems. That would come last. So just listen, validate, reflect, and once you start getting information from them, then you can
Right.
start working into, okay, well, how
Because a
can-
lot of times it may not even be a problem that needs to be solved.
Right.
If they just speak it
They
and
just wanna
and
be
it comes
heard.
out of their system. you
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
Yeah, you just validate that. Yeah, that really sucked.
Right,
What happened
yeah.
to you today?
Yeah.
Not go into, well, when I was 15.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, I mean, it ain't about
Yes.
you. You
Yeah.
know.
Listen more than you talk.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's okay to share experiences that you've had, so they know it's normal. But again, it's about them.
Right.
Just sitting in the moment with them. Sometimes just you can't solve it. If something bad happened to them, it's just, I'm here for you. We're going to get through this together. I hate that happened. But not sweeping it under the rug like that's not a big deal. Hey, there's better days ahead. You'll you'll get over it. You'll have a
Right.
you'll have a new love. I love the movie 16 Candles, and I made my daughter watch it with me lots of times because
My wife has done the same thing with all of our daughters.
yes, because she had a first love. The little actress had a first love, and just broke her heart. And the dad, she's on the couch sleeping or whatever, crying it out. And the dad said, "That's why they're called crushes, because it hurts so bad."
Yeah.
And we tend to think that's not a big deal for them because we're grown and we've gotten past it and we know we
Yes.
can get past it. But back to the suicidal ideation, they don't see past it a lot of times when they get in that kind of spinning mindset of, oh my gosh, this is it,
And a big thing for teenagers, a lot of times we look at them and we think they're grown, but their brains are not fully developed. They
Right.
don't have those skills. Those skills haven't been built for them to handle tough situations. And that's, I think, a critical time for adults to step in and help build those, create those skills and thinking skills of, what else can I do? Suicide is not the answer. What else can I do?
Right. When is the brain completely?
Well,
Because I got a 23-year-old and I'm still waiting
they're
on it.
getting
Close.
close.
Right.
They're
That's what I
close.
thought.
They do say it's in the 20s.
Yeah, I thought it was like mid-20s.
I
Is
think
what I'd read
girls
before.
are before boys.
Yeah.
But I also,
I'm
research-
outnumbered, so I'm not going to argue that
Yeah.
point.
a lot of times if they stay like in a crisis mode or in that fight flight area, a lot of times the brain doesn't get fully developed. You have to continuously build those habits and build the connections between the thinking brain and the lizard brain.
Yeah, with the wizard brain, the lizard brain.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm still at that point, and I'm 48.
Yeah.
So, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, I think we all
Yeah, probably
are.
so.
Yeah.
You know, I was listening, just coming in this morning, I was listening to two neuroscientists, and they were talking about like neuroplasticity in the brain, and they were talking a lot about Alzheimer's and dementia, but how that can start many years early. We need to get good sleep, like taking care of our brain now. When we're younger, I say now, when I'm young, as young as I am, at almost in a few weeks 56, but young people, taking care of your brain so it's lasts you your lifetime and it's strong for your lifetime by good sleep and good exercise and good nutrition and good thinking, you know, and not just being
zoning out.
Zoning out, yeah. You know, you need to be challenging your brain. You need to be reading and doing things and being able to focus. And the hippocampus holds all the memory centers, you know. And when we go into the next room, we're like, why am I in this room?
Yeah.
What did I come in here for? You know, because we're not focused, and so our memory's not even lasting. You know, so this is the world we're just doing. Multitasking is not a real thing. You know, it's not. We used to call it that, but you're not really doing that. You're not focused on five things at a time. So
because our brain doesn't naturally work like that.
No, but the good news is you can create those new pathways. You know, so back to our kids' brains are still developing, but they're exposed to. You know, don't let young kids have a phone that's not parentally controlled. They do not need 8 hours, 10 hours on the phone.
Right.
Or all night long in their room on the phone, and then access to no telling what else, you know. Not healthy. One of the other questions was, what are a few simple things parents can do at home to support their child's mental health? Kind of segue into that, creating routine, encouraging physical activity, a good sleep schedule, and then just family connection. You know, who is eating meals together anymore? Misty, you talked about, y'all you got twins, and they're in a very active part of life, and y'all had school, and then
We had cheer practice, and then we ran to swim practice, and then we went home and cooked and ate and showered. And I do think that structure, I mean, it was a busy day yesterday, but that structure, and they knew exactly what to expect and when they're going to bed. And you know, we did get home a little bit later, so we ate a little bit later, but they knew immediately I got a shower, brush my teeth, go to bed.
And they were probably, after that sort of day, I know that was normally the time they were ready to go to bed. That's how my kids always have been.
They were.
Yeah, so just good habits, you know. And again, going into the summer, we know habits kind of relax. We're not getting up at 6 in the morning, and nobody, you know, that's summer, and you can do that. But when it gets completely where we're up all night long, and then you're going to be, school's back in session before you know it, and now you got to try to.
And you try to retrain it.
Yes, so just some sort of consistency over the summer, you know, and I think take the summer to connect with your children. Do things together. It does not have to cost money. Go outside, do something, play board games. I mean, we have family night at my house, and with my adult children still, love it. Like yesterday we got home, and because we're in a little t-ball season, my brother lives right on we have a little compound, and my brothers are out there, and we're playing baseball in the afternoon, you know, just on the dirt out in the yard, you know, just cost nothing.
Yeah.
And my little grandson, and all of us having a blast too.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all just, he's hitting it, and we're all running like we're 12, you know, again.
And everybody's laughing at each other.
Yes, we're having a great time. We're all just ragging each other. You know, you call yourself a pitcher? That's a terrible, you know, we're just having, my brothers in their 60s, and we're still playing, you know. And it's just fun. Just connect.
Yeah, chalk in the driveway.
Yes.
Yeah, it's and just even I know my daughters that are still at home now, they love to have just family movie night.
Yes.
And it's buy some popcorn and sit and watch a movie, and they're as happy as can be. And
Yes.
and I'm like that, watching television or a movie. I like to be able to look at each other's faces and interact and laugh and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Friday night we get pizza and we watch a movie.
Yeah. And what we like to do after movies is we always do this thing. We'll say, what was your favorite part?
Right. Oh yeah, you always
And just-
talk
You're
about
just
it.
talking about
We
it.
talk
you
through
know?
the whole movie.
You do?
What's going to happen? Why are they doing that?
Or planning vacations or planning something to do and getting the kids involved. Again, doesn't have to cost a lot of money. A little day trip, pack a
hiking.
picnic.
Go
Yes,
hiking.
we went last Friday to Huntsville. I am not an outdoorsy person, but got on a little very simple, easy hiking trail, and
You can go to Clear Creek.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have to be. And you can look at there's an app called All Trails.
we use it. Yeah,
And it can tell you how easy the walk is and all that kind of stuff. So even a one-legged guy like me can go out for a small hike,
Yeah.
And they, my daughter went out last Saturday, Breeze and her husband, and she had told me the night before they were going to the Bankhead Forest with a friend. I woke up that morning looking, and on Facebook or one news feed it said 3 campers missing in Bankhead Forest, and I thought, oh my goodness, it could be Breeze.
Yeah.
but she called me when she was leaving and said, hey Dad, did you know there were 3 people missing? And I said, yeah, I did. I was just hoping it wasn't you.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that. Thankfully, they met up with some other campers that helped them get through the night and got out of there. But yeah,
and they'd gotten a pretty good ways away from where
Yeah.
their vehicle and everything was
yeah,
too.
Wow.
that would be me. I mean, I get lost in my own woods in my yard. I mean, I cannot. But
Lost downtown.
Even with all the signs.
I am so challenged, geographically challenged. But we talk about there's 4 core principles of parenting: consistency, communication, connection, and compassion. And just being really consistent is probably one of the top parenting things you can do. If kids know that those routines are consistent, you're consistent in the way you parent. Clear expectations, a good home environment, kids feel safe and secure. That's probably, I would think, one of the most important things is consistency. And
I
you still
agree.
got littles, so what do you think?
I agree, 100%. Structure, and then just maintaining that structure, so that they know what to expect. If they don't know what to expect, then,
Yeah.
they'll do whatever.
Yeah, I feel safer when things are consistent
Yeah.
and I know what to
Yeah,
expect.
consistency is a
Yeah.
good thing.
And the other communication, keeping honest, open, age-appropriate conversations. I will just briefly say this: do not have conversations that children are not ready to have. Make it age-appropriate. Sometimes as parents, we want to be their friends, and we just tell them too much of our personal lives or give them too much to worry about. They know too much about what's going on at home as far as we can't, the money's bad or this is bad, or give them age-appropriate things
Yeah.
that they can handle, because they'll take on that stress.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They can't process it.
They will.
Yeah, and they don't know we're having financial troubles this week. What does that mean? So just watch about things like that. But open communication, really with their feelings and building trust. And again, they need to come to you. I always tell my kids, and thankfully they never went to jail, but I mean, there's still time, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
But I've always told them, if you do go to jail, I hope that your phone call is to me and your dad.
Right.
That you trust us that you're going to be in trouble. There's
Yeah.
going to be problems.
Yeah.
But we'll help you through it. But I hope we're your first phone call,
Yeah.
So open communication. If they're afraid to come to you about something, that's going to be a problem. They're not going to,
But which one of you would they call, you or Dad first?
They would.
Who's going to really answer the phone?
Well, he's not going to answer the phone.
That's what I figured.
He's not going to hear it. It's going
Yeah.
to be on silent. So they're going to call me.
Okay. They know you'll answer.
That I'm going to answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will. If they called me right now, I'd probably answer, because I'm thinking, oh my gosh.
What could it be?
Yeah. So, and it's probably something like, hey, can you bring me something to eat? Or, it's never anything. But
Right, yeah.
just in case.
Right.
But they know you're there.
Especially my son has the 2 boys. I'm like, okay, what's wrong with the kids?
Right.
I
Oh,
go-
yeah, because now, see, I didn't even think of that because I hadn't got to grandparent mode yet.
Oh, it's a new level.
It's going to be a whole new level of worrying about people.
Oh, it's a new level. It's a new level. Those little people. I'm
Forget your
telling you.
kids.
Yeah.
Tell us about the grandkids.
Right.
It's all about the grandkids. We are
Well, no, it
sold.
just gives me more. I'll still worry about the kids, but now I'm going to have grandkids
Yes,
to worry
it
about,
is.
things like that.
Yeah. And then I worry that they're not doing it right,
Right.
So I'll tell my son something, he's like, Mom, I got this, whatever. Connection, building a good bond through quality time, and showing, again, empathy for what they're going through. But kids love quality time. Even if they act like they don't, they want that quality. And we talked before, different times, James, with your 5 children, you need to do things with them as one-on-one.
Right, individually, too,
Individually, yeah.
Because each one has different likes and different
Yeah.
interests and that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
And they want
that time
They want dad time.
with Dad.
Yeah. Yeah. And today, when I leave here after a while, once my daughter's getting married next Friday, we have dress fittings, so we will have
Oh, my.
I don't know if it's gonna be quality time because it will be together, but, you know, it's a stressful time and all these things, but.
You'll look back on it and only remember the good things
Yes.
once you get through that.
Yeah.
That whole wedding situation.
Yeah, and even with my son, he's so busy now working and with the 2 children, you know, and married and just finished building his house. If he ever calls me and says, "Hey, can you go to lunch today? I'm going to have to run an
You'll
errand
put
in
down
town."
everything,
Oh my
won't you?
gosh, I'm like, clear the calendar. You know, my son has called and he's free for lunch. You
Right.
know? So 2 weeks ago, we went to the pie factory, you know, and it was an hour. But listen, you could have done like a brain scan on me with the Joy Center.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I had an hour alone because that hardly ever happens anymore, you
Yeah.
know. So anyway.
Somebody reported that day they saw a lady floating
probably,
in Pie Factory.
yeah.
She was so
I
happy.
was so happy,
Yeah.
so happy. And then compassion. Again, I talked a lot about that, understanding and having patience. And kids make mistakes, and they need to know that that's okay and that they learn from it, you know. And so those are the kind of the 4 C's of parenting. I don't know if you want to go into social media.
Oh, yeah. For just a few minutes. We got about 5 minutes.
Okay. The impacts in social
And I think
media.
social media is such a huge thing in this whole battle anyway.
Well, we talk a lot about the risks of social media, but I thought we could start out with some of the positives of social media.
Yeah.
You know, and then you chime in anytime on
Yeah.
this, Misty. But there is social connection and support in social media. There's good support groups. There is different things. So that's not all bad. You know, social media is not all bad. 74% of teens 13 to 17 reported that social media made them feel connected to their friends, and they use it for social support and online social support for self-esteem. So that's not a bad thing. Identity and self-expression, they can learn about themselves or express themselves creatively and emotionally. And sometimes we're getting this at HARTT too, physical activity. Some of the games on social media that are physical that you can do, I think it's called the Next Playground. So it's a video game, but you're actually like playing tennis or doing something. So it's an online thing, but it's also some physical activity. So that's not a bad thing either. Gets them some movement in there. Of course, there's the risks that we all know and talk about, the bullying that can happen, you know, and we know people have died by suicide from bullying or inappropriate pictures being sent and ruining someone's life, you know, or threats and things like that. Sleep research,
Yes.
when they're staying up all night long.
Right.
Sleep is so valuable. It might be the most valuable thing we can do for our health, our mind, our body, is to sleep. And if you're sleeping with your phone and it's dinging all night long and you're checking it, you know, or
Or they're just scrolling on it.
Right. Well, and you talked about self-confidence being an issue and
Yes.
that sort of thing, self-esteem. And
Comparison.
social media is, the comparisons and that sort of thing. That's got to be a
Yeah.
negative part of it.
It is, and I think a lot of that comes in with the cyberbullying. You know, that can hurt self-esteem if
Right.
they've got that going on. So they're already on there and they're comparing themselves because that's what girls do. Probably boys, I'm not sure. But then you go into the cyberbullying and somebody says this or somebody says that, and that's just, takes you down even further.
yeah. And I think now with AI,
Oh, yeah.
you do not know if that reel you're
You don't know
watching
what's real or
is-
what's
is-
not real.
If that reel is real.
Right,
You
yeah.
just don't know. Because I'll get wrapped up into something and I'm like, I'm crying. I'm like, oh, this is the saddest thing. And I'll read the comments like, that's AI. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dad,
I'll
damn
show
it.
my girls something funny, and they're like, "Mom, that's AI."
I'll do that too. Because I hardly ever have a heart and just overcome with emotion about something. And there was a story about a neighbor helping a neighbor, and I thought, this is the most beautiful story. And I told Andrea, I said, have you seen this? And she said, that's AI, right? And I was
That's
like,
crazy.
they just ripped my heart out.
hey, those dog reunions.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
my gosh. I'm in there crying. That dog's wagging his tail, not even nothing. And that's not
And
real.
That's not real.
Yeah,
so
well, I saw
upset.
something the other day about some baboons that like to hug their people that work with them. It was totally AI. But I thought it was the cutest
Like,
thing in the
we're
world.
suckers.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are.
We're suckers.
That's
Well, it
the
makes
age
us
I'm
feel
getting
good.
to. Yeah.
But you can even see locally, our local social media.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, we're in this political season.
yeah.
People are not kind
Right,
a lot
right.
of times. If you read some of those comments
And they're hiding behind the screen, so
It's easy to do that,
It's
yeah.
easy to do. But I would say set boundaries. And just maintain
Well, and I mean,
your character.
I think it's so much easier for kids too behind their phone
yeah.
on that keyboard to be able to pick on other kids than it.
And
At least back in the day, it took gumption for a bully to get in your face.
Right, yeah,
they'll make fake accounts too.
Oh yeah, a lot of fake accounts and stuff.
yeah.
They learn it from the people above, though. That's how a lot of people behave now, and people in high places that you would think you would look at and go, yes, I can behave like that. No, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And so it's difficult now.
So the research shows excessive screen time, especially on social media, contributes to anxiety, depression, and feelings of isolation. Because again, that's the opposite of connection. You're in
Right.
they're in that room and they're isolated, and I do grief share at my church, and we talk about isolation as one of the worst things we can do, because then you start getting depressed and you have intrusive thoughts, and we say get out and do something, whatever. Isolation. Now, every now and then I like to be isolated.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
leave me alone. I need some me time,
Just a break.
A break. Yeah, we're not talking about that. That's some good self-care or whatever. But this constant isolation that can happen with social media is not good. Again, parents, I encourage you to be parents. Be parents. That's the hardest job in the world, because it's a job.
Yeah. Well, and at least just know what apps are on your kid's phone.
Yeah.
Just,
Be aware.
you don't have to be a Nazi about it.
Yeah.
But just know what's going on. Just look at the signs, because I know when any of my kids have been going through something, you'll see it.
Yeah,
If
you can
if you're
set,
barely paying attention, you can
you
see
can
it.
set parental controls, and if you've got their phone, you're paying. That is your phone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
These children do not have jobs.
Right.
You are paying this phone bill. Turn it off. Set it to go off.
You can set screen time.
Yeah,
Yes.
at a certain time of
Yeah.
night and that kind of thing.
Yeah, so do those things.
Yeah.
If they're going to get mad,
You can block certain apps, or they have to ask permission before they get an app.
Right.
So, you can set it, you can make it as
yeah,
clean as you want it, or give them a little wiggle room,
yeah.
but just setting those boundaries.
You
Oh, yeah.
can minimize the risk
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah.
Just do the stuff on the front end. Educate yourself. Get other younger people to help you, figure it out.
Yeah.
But do it. Do
They know
that
how to
work.
do
Right.
And yeah, they're going to get aggravated. They're going to get mad. They're going to say all the things. So and so has their. Who
Right.
cares?
Well, one big thing that I've noticed too, know your kids' friends. Like know who they knew, how they are, know their parents.
Yes.
Because I think that's a huge key. And it may not even be that there's bad kids involved. It may just be that your kid's going through something, and you want to know that their kids are going to be helpful in
Yes,
that
yeah.
situation. That
Yeah.
kind of thing. You know.
And I will say this right quick before we go about that. We've got to be in the age where our children do not go somewhere else and spend the night at someone's home.
Right,
That
yeah.
age has got to be over.
Yeah.
I mean, are we still letting our children go somewhere? Now, again, it might be they've got great parents. We know the parents.
Right.
We know the kids. But we don't know everybody else.
Right.
I don't know grandpa, uncle, brother. I don't know who may come over. I don't know those people.
Right,
And
yeah.
I'm not risking it. Even again with my little grandchildren, my little grandson that's 5, he had a camping party the night he was going to be able to go to, and I overheard the ball game, heard him talking about it. So I immediately told my son, I said, "You don't think you're not letting him go by himself, are you?" He said, "My gosh, mother, no." I'm like, "Oh," and I'm always like, he cannot spend the night anywhere.
That was one of those questions where your kid looks at you, because I've got Daisy is the main one that looks at me and does this, and it's like, do you think I'm stupid, Dad?
Yeah.
When you ask the question.
Yeah, because I have just,
But you still got to be the parent.
Yeah, you still
Yes.
have to be. It doesn't matter. you know.
I'm still parenting, my adult son, just making sure, because
Yeah.
we cannot let our children spend the night somewhere. We
Yeah.
just cannot.
You can't be too careful. You know.
No, and I'll tell you something else I see on Facebook a lot locally, and it breaks my heart, because I know people need childcare. I understand everybody doesn't
Right.
have a parent to help them, a grandparent or whatever. But when I see somebody that will just say, "Hey,
Can
can
anybody
keep my kids this
Yes.
week? I
Yeah.
need you to spend the night at my house," and I just cringe. I'm like, "Oh Lord Jesus, please provide a way for these people to stay home, keep their children," or whatever the case is, because my gosh, the world is,
Well, Jasper's an incredible place, but
Yes.
it's not Mayberry.
no.
So there still could be bad things to happen.
Yes, so anyway, that's my little tangent on that, but, one of the last things, when should a parent consider reaching out for professional help? And I think
Every day.
every day, but when these
Yes.
challenges are persistent,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, persistent.
Yeah. When you
they-
continually see it.
when they feel concerned and I was gonna, one of the things was talking about parents when they're overwhelmed. Like, it's okay to ask for help, like for the parents to ask for help. What do I do? What do I need to do to help my child or to help me
Yeah.
help my child?
Yeah.
And that's always okay. And sometimes we have parents that will ask us that when we have concerns about the student and they come in and they just don't know what to do.
Right.
But that's the best thing, and to be open.
Yeah.
Tina, you got anything else before we go?
I don't think so. I appreciate that y'all care enough about mental health to, have us come and talk about these things, and it's super important. And I just want kids to be protected, and I want them to have a great childhood, and this is Child Abuse Awareness Month.
That's right.
And the CAC, our local CAC, talks about, and have a slogan, it shouldn't hurt to be a child.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to overcome your childhood. And some things, even as great parents as we might be, and try to protect, there's still some things that we can't be with them every second.
Right.
That they're gonna go through, but we can minimize some risk, and I would just say this summer, be the best parent you've ever been in your life.
Yeah.
Be an intentional parent, be a present parent. Proximity is not the same as present. We talked about on the show before, being out to eat and you see kids on their iPads.
Right.
They are in proximity of their parents, but they're not present.
Right. Yeah.
Be present. That is a gift. That is a present. To be present is a gift to your
Yeah.
children. So I would just encourage parents to find the joy in your children. You birthed them.
Right.
Your children.
You had them, now they're yours.
You had
They'll be
'em.
grown before you know it.
They'll
And
be
they will be. That's the
grown.
thing. Enjoy those memories, because you never know when they're gone. Because getting into the stage that we're in, where certain kids are leaving at certain times,
Yeah.
and it's difficult. It's hard to get the whole family together.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah. We try to still do family night, with my grown children, so it's important.
Well, thank you, ladies, for coming in today, and remind people how they can be in contact with HARTT.
They can just go to our website, Heart of Walker County. They can call us. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. I don't know how to do Instagram, but we're on Instagram. So
Somebody's looking at that
somebody's
inbox.
helping us with Instagram. But
Yeah.
or just come down to Synovus. We're on the first floor.
Right.
And we'll help you.
Yeah. Yeah. So go see HARTT if you have any mental health needs or questions. They will help. If they can't see you, they will put you in the right direction.
Yes, we will
for where you
refer
need
out.
to go.
There's lots of wonderful therapists, So yeah, definitely, we will refer you to somebody else if we can't see you.
And Misty, keep up the good work at Jasper City Schools.
Thank you. Thanks
All
for
right.
having us.
Hey, guys, thanks for listening today. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, be kind and love, and we'll see you on Thursday on Live at 9 with James Phillips on WJLX.